Hello everyone, welcome to another problem solving session. Almost 40% of test takers get this question wrong, making it one of the harder questions in Official Guide to GMAT. This is question number 476 in Official Guide to GMAT 22. Let's dig in. Before we start, just remember this is about you understanding the problem. So if there is something that is not clear or you have additional questions or you want me to solve another question that is troubling you, please leave a comment. I personally respond to all the comments on my videos, so do not hesitate to ask any questions. Okay, so let's get started. So that I can show the working clearly, I have taken out the shaded region. The question is really asking us to find the area of this shaded region, and let's just at a high level understand what would be that area. That area would be area of big circle minus area of small circle, and then you will get this area. So that would be our approach to somehow figure out what the area of the bigger circle would be and subtract it from the area of the small circle. If we can figure this out, we don't have to really calculate the area. We can find the value of the area of this crescent shape right here, which is in between the two circles. Whenever you're trying to solve a circle problem, one thing that you should mark as step number one are the centers of the circle and then the radius. So here B is the center of the smaller circle, which makes this as the radius. Then C is the center of the bigger circle, which makes AC this as the bigger radius, and I'm going to mark it very clearly. So let's write down the steps that we have just done. Okay, the next step is, since we are marking the radii and I've marked the obvious radii so far, so the small r is AB and the big R is R, can I find any other radii or the radius of the circle? So I know this B and D. Since D is a point on the circle, this B and D would also be small radius. So let me write that down clearly. And also this C and E would be the big radius, right? So those are the two other radius of the circle. And why am I so focused on the radius of the circle? First of all, because it's a circles problem, and second, because I need to find the area of the bigger circle and the smaller circle. For the information to be enough or sufficient, I need to have both the radius so that I can calculate their areas. Now let's start looking at statement number one and see what we are given. It's given that AB equals 3. So AB is small radius. So we are easily given small radius equals 3. So that means we can easily find the area of the small circle. One part of the problem gone. Do we have enough information now to calculate the big radius, right? We are given this BC as 2. This is 2. Now we have to think about it, but here is the thing. C is the center of the big circle, right? And I already said this is big R all the way up to C right here. So if I know this small r and I also know this BC, then I know capital R. So capital R would be small r plus 2. I am given the small r, which means I also know the capital R. And since I know both the radiuses, I can very easily figure out the area of the big circle, the area of the small circle. I can subtract them and get the value of the crescent shape. I don't need to do the calculations. I know that I can get the answer, and since I can get the answer, this is sufficient to answer the question as to what is the area. So one thing that you need to note is this was all reasoning based. We have not done a single bit of real calculation here, just made sure that we were able to find the small r and the capital R. So that's the third step. Try to reason before you calculate. Most of the GMAT questions are about reasoning, and if you reason, you are likely going to avoid a lot of calculations. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time. Okay, so let's jump into statement number 2 now. So statement number 2 gives us two other information. It gives us DE as 4 and it also gives us CD as 1, right? We know that CE, which is this big radius, is CD plus DE. We can easily see that in the diagram. So my big radius is clearly given to me. CD plus DE equals 5. Now what about my small radius? So as long as I am given this value CD, can I find my small radius? So as we move on to the second circle, the smaller circle, let's look at what we know is the small radius. We know AB is the small radius, and we also know that BD is the small radius, right? So AB plus BD, both are small radius, would be R plus R equals 2R, right? The other way to look at it is that AD is the diameter of the small circle, since it is AD is a chord and it passes through the center of the circle. Now since AD is the diameter, I know that it will be 2R. Now we also know that AD minus CD is the capital R. So AD minus CD equals capital R, which we have calculated to be 5. So 2R, CD is given to be 1, equals 5. That means small r equals 3. I didn't even need to calculate small r equals 3. From this equation itself, I know I can find small r. Since I already know the big R and I can find the small r, I have enough information to find the area of this crescent, which will be the big circle minus the small circle, and hence this is also sufficient to answer the question. Hence the answer to this question is D. Both statements individually can answer the question. Thank you everyone. If you found the video helpful, please press like and subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, all the best with your prep.